Hello flute players! Thanks so much for checking out this video. My name is Michael Conklin. I'm the woodwinds instructor at Sage Music in New York. So this video is for a lot of you flute players who have maybe just purchased a flute or thinking about buying one. Maybe you've just started playing or maybe even playing a little while, or you're about to start playing and you're just a little intimidated by all the small parts here, how to take care of your instrument. Worry not, this video is for you. So we're gonna talk the breakdown of the flute. We're gonna talk about all the pieces. We're gonna put it together, clean it, and take it apart. All right, so let's get to our main pieces here. We have the flute head joint, the body of the flute, and the foot joint. So all of these pieces are loaded with keys and other small parts, and we're going to talk about those now. So back to the head joint. If you look at the head joint, you have the crown, the lip plate, and the embouchure hole. So the crown is this metal cap at the end of the flute. That keeps any air from spilling out the wrong end. You just want air to be redirected down the flute this way. The cap goes into has a screw that goes into a cork with two metal caps on the side, which is redirecting that air down towards the keys. The lip plate is where the flute player will place their lower lip, and when they rest their lower lip across the lip plate, they're going to blow across into the embouchure hole, the final part. So the embouchure hole has this splitting edge, which will split your airstream in half and result in vibrations inside the flute that will give you that flute tone. So let's go on to the body of the flute. The body of the flute is where all the magic happens with the fingers. You're going to have the barrel, the rods, and then connected to those are the keys where your fingers actually go. So the barrel is the connecting point between the head joint and the body of the flute. It's usually engraved with the manufacturer's logo, but it doesn't really serve any acoustic purpose or any purpose beyond that. It's mostly just decoration and a connecting point. After that, you have the rods, which are these cylindrical pieces of metal that travel lengthwise down the flute. These pieces of metal carry the energy from the keys when your fingers press down on the keys and when the springs press back up on the keys. So the keys have little springs in between the rods that allow the key to go down with the force of your finger and then back up. So with that, let's go to the foot joint. The foot joint is the smallest component of your instrument, and like the body of the flute, it has rods and keys, but something important to note here is that some flutes will have an extra key and a little bit of extra tubing. So that's the difference between your C and your low B flute. So this is a low B foot joint. It has one extra key for your low B, and that goes down here. Requires about that much extra tubing, where low C is going to stop about right there. And you're also going to have the gizmo key here. The gizmo key is to help better facilitate a fourth octave C, which is, if you're watching this video, and this is all new information, that's not the recommended note for you to start on. Okay, so that's all our pieces of flute. Let's talk about putting them together. So when you're handling the body of the flute, you're going to want to handle that carefully by the bell that we talked about. The reason you want to do that is so you don't crush down on these keys. You don't want to put any unneeded pressure on those when you're not playing the instrument. You could bend things out of line, and that could put you due for a costly repair. So hold the body of the flute by the bell, and then take your head joint, handle that by the end closest to the open hole. You're going to line those up and gently twist them back and forth together. If you need to switch hands, gently twist back together. Then what you're going to do next is you're going to align the embouchure hole with the first key here on the flute. So this is actually above your B key where your finger goes. So you'll line up with that key right there. So you can look from the top side down and gently twist the head joint and the body of the flute until those are aligned. and that's a good starting place. After a little bit of trial and error, you may have to change that positioning for your physicality. Okay, so now all we have left to attach is the foot joint. Same as the body, you want to handle that by the bottom end where there's no keys. You don't want to crush these keys either. Avoid all key crushing if you can help it. Same thing, you're just going to line up the two ends, so the two open holes. Gently twist those together. And then you're going to take the lowest rod of the body down to this first key on the foot joint. That's your E flat key. You want to put that approximately in the center. So the rod of the body approximately in the center of your E flat key. So now you've got that all put together, your flute is ready to play. All right, so now after you've played your flute a little bit, you're going to want to take it apart carefully. So in reverse order of what we just did, grab the flute by the body, or the bell, not the bell, the barrel. Grab your flute by the barrel. And then you're going to grab the foot joint by the end with no keys. You're going to gently twist and pull apart. Once that's off, put that somewhere safe, like your case. Do the same thing with the foot joint, with the head joint. Still holding by the barrel the whole time. Put the head joint safely in your case. And you can put the body down. Okay, so before we clean, you should be familiar with your cleaning tools. So some of your accessories here are going to be a cleaning rod. I recommend that you get a wooden cleaning rod like this. Any other material like plastic or metal is going to dent up the inside or scratch up the inside of your flute, which could put you due for some more repairs or just put your flute out of tune. You don't want any of that, so get a nice wooden cleaning rod. Next, you will have your flute gauze or cleaning cloth. This one is made of a bamboo fiber material, so it's very soft. I recommend you get something similar, or a cotton gauze. Anything more abrasive than that is going to scratch up the inside of your flute as well. You don't want to use paper towels either. Those are even a little too abrasive. So those are your two main cleaning tools. Those are your two main cleaning tools. So you're going to take the wooden cleaning rod that we talked about. You're going to take the corner of your gauze or cleaning cloth. You're going to thread the corner through the eye. Just pull it through part way, you don't need to go crazy. And then you're just going to take any of that excess and put it over the top of the cleaning rod there. That's just to further protect the inside of your flute. Now with this, you're ready to go. So take your head joint. You're going to carefully put that inside the head joint, twisting as you go, and you're just going to go until the cleaning rod stops. It's going to be stopped by the crown up here. Twist that around a few times. Continue twisting as you pull that out. You're just mopping up all the moisture in there from playing. Do the same thing with the body. The body is long enough that you might want to do this from both ends. So note I'm holding by the barrel of the flute, gently twisting as I go. And that's going to make it about halfway. Then you're going to get the other side. Pull that out. You especially want to get the body of the flute because that's where most of your pads are. You want to keep moisture away from the pads underneath your keys of the flute at all times. And then you're going to do the same thing with the foot joint. Remember, just holding it where there are no keys on the instrument. All the way through and back out. if it gets stuck like this, don't yank. You don't want to turn this into a flute javelin contest. All right. So after you've cleaned the foot joint and you've cleaned the rest of your flute, that is the most important part of your flute care, is running the cleaning rod and gauze through the body, foot joint, and head joint of your instrument. After that, some additional care. You can get one of these pad savers. They look like a big pipe cleaner. That's essentially what they are. They typically have some kind of desiccant inside here which absorbs any excess moisture, anything you might have missed while doing most of your work with your gauze or cleaning cloth. And you just put that in to the body of the flute, and that just stays in your case when you're done playing the instrument. You can start putting things away. Put the cleaning rod in its little dedicated compartment. Fold this up. Most flute cases are not going to have additional storage space for this, so I recommend keeping this in a plastic bag or somewhere safe where it's not going to attract any dirt or other debris that's going to scratch up your flute. And this final accessory is optional. This is just a anti-tarnish strip. You can get these in bulk at pretty much any hardware store. It just takes the sulfur out of the air inside your case, leaving your flute shiny, if that's what you desire. All right, and that about covers it. So thanks so much again for watching this video. You're now prepared to take care of your instrument. Don't forget to click the subscribe button so you can get more educational videos like these. And thanks so much. Happy practicing.